Sports. All right. I think that, I really think that was our best one we've ever done.
Probably. Still wasn't good, but
not good. Yeah, we'll get there. We're still working out the kinks. Welcome to Stuff About Sports, brought to you by the Give Us a Shot Network. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Germ. We got Corey. We got Ty. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Ready to talk about some sports?
Oh yeah, a lot happening. A lot
has happened. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Everybody getting back to work. Today we're going to talk about the match between Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, one last time, maybe, unless they golf again. We're going to talk about Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl without the Patriots. Can it happen? Then we're going to talk about the contract situation with Dak Prescott. And then, of course, everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling the juice of basketball and hockey, making some concrete plans. And we are on the verge of real sports coming back. But first, we're going to do a little bit of warm-up, take some warm-up shots. We're going to go around the world of sports, some quick coverage. And Corey, I'm going to start with you. Did you watch any of the 4 hours of the Mike Tyson's fights on ESPN on Saturday?
Nope, I did not.
Ty, did you?
No, I didn't either, unfortunately.
No, listen, I watched all 4 hours of it, and I'm telling you right now, he was a monster, which made it even crazier that he ended up losing to some nobody. But yeah, it was good. You can catch it on ESPN Plus. We had former NFL bust great Ryan Leaf getting arrested for domestic battery. Corey, say something bad about Ryan Leaf.
Most overrated quarterback, bigger, more overrated than Andrew Luck. Ryan Leaf is awful, biggest bust at all. And what cracks me up is, the Chargers picked Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning. How do you do that?
That makes it worse.
Dog, Corey, you took the words out of my mouth. Biggest busts. That's a much bigger bust than Andrew Luck. That's all I got. That's all I can say.
That's all you can say. You picked the wrong quarterback, and he's a woman beater. Ridiculous. Michael Jordan. Apparently, the author of the Jordan Rules said that Michael Jordan was telling blatant lies during the last dance, and now Horace Grant is coming for the crown. He's tired of everybody calling him a snitch. Guys, does it matter that Jordan lied in the doc? It doesn't matter, right?
No, it was a documentary that was painting Jordan's legacy even more than we already know it. We knew this was all from Jordan's perspective. The guy makes up lies about people he used to play to give him motivation to play them harder. I don't think anybody cares about that.
Yeah, exactly. And another topic, I wanted to get deep into the Isaiah Thomas thing, but maybe we will or not. But that's enough.
No, go ahead.
That's enough right there. No, that's enough right there to hear that Jordan was so petty to be like, I'm not going to play. This is the Olympic team, mind you, not his own personal team. This is the American Olympic team. And Jordan has the wherewithal to say, I'm not playing if so-and-so is going to be on it. Probably the best point guard in the league at the time. For him to ixnay Isaiah Thomas off that team just to keep Jordan is a weak move by Jordan. He's still the greatest, of course. And it's not like, and even for him lying, it's the same thing. Like, but you still can call him out for it. This is a blunder on his record, though he's still the GOAT.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, oh wow, really? But then I'm thinking about it like, who cares? It's Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan wanted all the centers in the league to play on that dream team, all the centers would be on there. And, and it wasn't just Jordan. Nobody was rushing to Isaiah Thomas's defense to get him on the team. And Magic Johnson was on that team. They didn't even need him. So Isaiah Thomas.
You're right. No, Magic is the best point guard at that time. But right. Isaiah was. I think Isaiah was second. Man, he was. A great point
for
guard.
real. But at the end of the day, it's like it wasn't just Jordan. Like nobody wanted you on the team. So Barkley didn't want you, and he was open about it. So stop crying. Move on, Isaiah. You weren't on the dream team. Get over it.
Yeah.
The NFL. Shout out to Nessa. Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, I don't know what she was doing. I guess she was just perusing around the NFL website, noticed that Colin Kaepernick designation was retired. And the NFL quickly, as she tweeted about it, changed it to unrestricted free agent. The fix has always been in, right, Corey?
Oh, yeah. Shame on you, NFL. Shame on you, especially when everybody has more time on their hands right now to look at stuff like that. You need to get your stuff together, NFL.
No comment.
No comment. Damian Lillard says when the NBA does return, we'll talk about that later. If the Blazers don't have a true opportunity to make the playoffs, he ain't playing. Now, this isn't really about Damian Lillard, but should players feel that way? Is he right or wrong? Corey?
No, you play. You have the opportunity to play, you play. It might not be fair, and we'll talk about this when we get to the NHL playoff scheme, but you have the opportunity to play, you play. You can't look at what's fair and what's not in this climate.
I missed that. He said what now? He won't play if what?
He said if the Blazers don't have a real opportunity to win, or to make the playoffs, because I think they're not really. We'll talk about it.
It's only like a certain amount of games left before the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think the NBA knows. And again, I have the information. We'll talk about it later. But the real thing is, he just came out and said, "Hey, if we ain't going to be in the playoffs, I ain't playing." Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, the season, I can get how some players, especially players like Damian Lillard or it seems like the Blazers that really have no real shot. I'm sorry. Like the season's like, man, forget it. Like I want to start over. Like I just want to go to next season. Like I get it.
Rob Gronkowski says Tom Brady wasn't the only reason he decided to sign with Tampa Bay. You buying that, Corey?
No. What are his other reasons? If that's the case, give me your other reasons. Don't just say he wasn't the only reason. Give me some sort of information that leads us to believe that he wasn't.
Yeah, no, that's a lie. He just said that obviously just to big up his teammates in the town in Tampa, but reality, he said it himself. He would not play for any other quarterback than Tom Brady. Like that was his own words. That's my quarterback forever. So wherever Tom was going, he was going, and that was facts.
Yeah, I don't think Rob Gronkowski knows what he ate for breakfast this morning, so he definitely isn't going to recall some comment he made.
He's on a CBD, man. He's getting his memory back, man.
I guess. He said one of his reasons said his mom lives 2 hours away, but I'm like, yo, you're rich. Your mom's always 2 hours away. Get over it. On the day that Michigan says that they're not going to play any football unless students are allowed back on campus, the SEC and Big 12 announced that they're going to start football workouts on campus next month. Should there be college football without kids in class?
Corey? I mean, look, yes and no. It just really depends on, as a sports fan, yes. College football without, I mean, you can learn remotely. You can't play football remotely. So kids can still take college courses without being in an actual classroom. College football makes a lot of money, those programs, for those schools. So if you want to keep tuition rates lower and you want to put money back into the school, then yeah, that should absolutely happen.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very valid point. No, that's that. They hit it right ahead.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Tyves. Two more. NASCAR has suspended the team of Denny Hamlin this past week for tungsten ballast bricks falling off his car during the pre-lap warm-ups. Now, for those who are not NASCAR fluent, those they're basically tungsten bricks that help cars meet weight requirements. Now, the reason why they're illegal is because they fly off, and a few years ago, there was a driver where one of those bricks flew through his windshield and severely injured him. So, yeah, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Right, Corey?
I mean, listen, if it's exciting things like cheating scandals and possibly more accidents or anything that's going to make NASCAR more exciting, then I'm game. So I don't see an issue here.
Nah, bro, this sounds like Mario Kart, man. Like there should be not. That's the first thing I thought. Like, I mean, first of all, we all love crashes in NASCAR, like R.I.P. the goats, but. You know, you like the crashes, but you don't want that. I mean, it's not Mario Kart, man. I don't want you throwing your brick out the back or shooting up a car. Nah. Like that's a little much to like throwing bricks out the back of your car. I mean, I know it's not the purpose of it, but you're saying it can happen. That's the reason why it's banned. So that's whack.
I believe it's I think he had 3 of them fall, and I believe
isn't how many shells you get when you get the Mario Kart, you get
shells? When you get the green shells. Yeah, I believe it's like $2,000 a brick for every. So, I mean, that's a costly penalty, and they're suspended. Not good for Denny Hamlin.
But is there any strategy to losing those bricks? Like, you got to think, losing the weight, I guess, will make you faster. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think the bricks. I don't even think the bricks' purpose was to be dislodged. Obviously, they weren't secured properly. I think, you want your car to be like teetering the line. Obviously, the lighter you are, the faster you go. So you underbuild your car, and then you just add bricks just to barely hit that weight requirement. You know what I mean? Instead of adding like heavier parts that might actually influence the car's performance, which is exactly why the driver doesn't matter. It's actually the engineering and the pit crew. But last one. This one is going to excite both of you. I know it excited me. And shout out to Mike. He's playing hurt today, sharing all of our stuff on social media. Got into a pregame injury. Vince McMahon was foiled, guys. He was foiled. His plan to buy XFL back on pennies of the dollar failed. He got called out on it, and he officially pulled out of that bidding, even though he claimed that he was never in the bidding, which is, I don't understand how you're pulling out. But here's the good news. There have been reportedly dozens of bidders for the XFL, and it could be relaunched next February. How excited are you, Corey?
I mean, listen, I'm always excited for more sports. I think that's smart. We knew the XFL, we weren't going to hear the last of it. Obviously, it was a success before COVID hit. So even if they try to relaunch, it might take some more money, but it'll still be a success. And depending on where we're at with fans at sporting events come next February anyway. With Vince, I think he's just an idiot. He filed the wrong paperwork. You know what I mean? If you're going to file for bankruptcy, you can't turn around and buy your business out of bankruptcy for pennies on the dollar. You got to give somebody else some money to buy your business, and you have that under the table exchange somewhere else.
You know, it's funny. Like I just seen. I don't want to go too off topic. I just seen a building bought in my town, like a big hotel building for like $1 million or something. It was bought by a company called like ABC Companies, right? And it was bought from ABC Companies 2 or something. Like it was bought from two separate companies. I saw the ledger and I'm like, wait, this company bought this building from the same company. And it's like, and I think they were bankrupt, the other company. And so what I'm getting at is this is kind of stuff that happens all the time. This is why the wealthy stays wealthy. And people like us need to pay attention to stuff like this. And that's what I think about. And, of course, Mr. Man's trying to do this. There's a reason why Trump doesn't want to release his tax documents, right? These guys are doing some weird things with their dollars, and we need to figure that out and play the game with them. But on XFL, listen, all football is good football. I want XFL was a success, and we're going to see players in the NFL that were playing in the XFL. So that alone is proof enough. Like, hey, we need to bring this back, and it's something we should think about.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know about you guys. I'm warmed up. Are you warmed up, Corey?
Oh, I'm limber. I'm warmed up.
I'm actually a little hot. I'm actually a little hot, but. We can get it. Let's get into the first topic, and we talked about it a little bit in terms of the match and Brady, the GOAT, well, at least the football GOAT. But he faced off against against Peyton Manning again, but this time for charity golf, right? So it was the match: Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning versus Mickelson and Brady. Obviously, it had to be that way. I don't think if Brady and Tiger together, that wouldn't have been fair. So they had to mix it up. They had to mix the teams up. They couldn't put the two GOATs on the same team. But I didn't watch any of it. But now that I'm a new golf fan, I'm going to probably go back and rewatch it to see how Tom Brady works his clubs so I can see if I can pick up a little bit of something. But I'm sure, Corey, you saw it. Jamal, you might have saw it. What's your guys' thoughts on the match?
I watched it, and it was comforting to see these professional athletes perform a different sport at the same level I can perform. Now, Tom Brady had one amazing shot for birdie right after Charles Barkley was talking smack to him. I want to say he maybe swung a pitching wedge, let's just say for sake of argument, whatever, 80 yards right in the hole. So from fairway to green in the hole, it was a beautiful shot.
The GOAT.
But that was the only time Tom Brady had a good shot. The rest of the time he was out of the fairway, away from the green, in the sand trap, and constantly asking Phil, his partner, all right, what do I do next?
Hey, honestly, if that's what happens, man, he's just used to being coached greatly. So he was looking to another great, side note, I'm a little disappointed in Tiger. I mean, he's supposed to be the gym guy, and Phil Mickelson came out there with the power calves. I was like, damn, man, how does that happen? I don't understand, how that happened. Tom Brady started. I did watch a little bit of it. Tom Brady when I watched it from the beginning. Tom Brady was not good. I was like, this is going to be, the weather wasn't great from what I remember. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a long day for Tom Brady. And there was a couple of them where I wish that people weren't so sensitive, because Tom Brady wanted to curse so bad, and I think it would have been more fun. And they were jawing back and forth at each other. I know Tom, when Peyton did something, missed a shot, Tom said, "Hey, Eli would have made that shot." And Brady gave him some Eli quotes like, "Yeah, you're lucky Eli's not out here. You definitely wouldn't win." And Tom called him a dome QB. So some of that stuff was fun, and Tom started playing better as the match progressed. Tiger, it actually, because it was live golf, and I know the ratings, they had like, I don't know what the exact number is, but it was like monstrous ratings. And I don't know if that was because it was the only real like live sport, the closest thing we can get that was on, but it kind of made me upset, because I'm like, well, what's stopping them from doing this next week with like Steph Curry and whoever, like, and even more than that, why can't like they just continue playing golf with like the real golfers, have a skeleton camera crew out there and do what they just did for this. It just would be with more people. I don't understand.
Did you see the Phil Mickelson versus Tiger Woods one-on-one recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, I think these kind of things, there's something to it. And I think people will tune in, because it's like going to the course with your friends. Like, you're just seeing just guys BS and just play golf. And it's like, it's really not about, winning or losing even. It's just fun to hear them talking. It's almost like listening to a podcast or something, or just watching, a bunch of friends just hanging out. Right. So like, I think that the reason why you're tuning in is because it's for great people that all have big personalities. Like Tiger and Phil, people tuned in for that because you knew it was going to be a lot of talking and stuff. And then obviously Manning and Brady, they didn't disappoint. And speaking of which, Brady, Eli Manning just joined Twitter, right? And Brady came at him like, of course, you're joining Twitter late, like you're only good in the fourth.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. I want to go back and see the highlights of all the trash talk. I really want to see.
It was good. They were doing it right, and and you're right. I think most of that viewership was probably casual fans, and it was only because Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were doing it. If they were going to continue to do this with Tiger and Phil, I'm sure they'll get the hardcore golf fans, but I don't think 4 normal golfers could do those numbers. I don't think people would watch it. So like, yeah, who's this? Like, I would love to see Tony Romo and Steph Curry team up with Phil and Tiger, and Barkley, like, get 2 bad golfers. Like, that would be interesting too. Like to have Barkley actually go out there and do it with like, Magic Johnson or somebody, you know what I mean? That would be fun. So, I would love to see them, as long as they're not going to put real golf on. Why not get these celebrities out here to go out there and play and entertain us every week? I don't see why they couldn't do that.
So sticking on Brady, what you said in the beginning, we're going to talk about Brady in a Super Bowl. Maybe not this year. He's signed a 2-year contract with the Bucks, but what is on everybody's mind is, can he get it done without Belichick? What say you? What say you guys? Corey, you're ready.
All right. So this is what kind of got the wheels moving, was watching this golf match. And keep in mind that Phil and Tom had just as much time to prepare as Peyton and Tiger. So, and you heard throughout the golf match that they all played at least one round on that course a day or two before to kind of go over and strategize. But what you did notice is Tom was coached a lot more by Phil during this match on Sunday. So it kind of sparks the debate is, can he win without the Patriots? Can he win without Belichick? And I don't think so. I think Tom is a great football player, but I think he needs coaching in order to win.
I got to jump in. That's a huge stretch. You're telling me that it's funny. I'm trying to figure out where this topic came from. So now I get it. Okay. Topic comes from Brady being coached in a sport he doesn't play. All right, cool. So anyways, Brady, first of all, he has a good coaching staff in football now. He does have a good coaching staff. He's supposed to look for his coaches. He's supposed to look at his quarterback coach. He's supposed to look at his head coach, his offensive coordinator, to help him with stuff. And in golf, Phil Mickelson is a world-class pro. Of course, you have to look at him for help. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the smart way of doing it. Brady has proved that he's smart in football. He hasn't played without Belichick. So I guess he hasn't proven that he's done it without Belichick. But you see him he has to step back. He has to get the ball. He has to make the throws, and he's done it consistently in really tight, crazy situations. And you have to believe in him.
He's a great athlete. I'm not saying he's not a great athlete. I just don't think he can get it done without the Patriot system. A system that is just moving parts that people can replace on a dime.
I feel you, and I'm curious what Jamal thinks. I'm sure Jamal is probably on the same kind of mindset of like you have a great coaching staff in the Patriots in New England. However, I'm just saying that's not discredit the Buccaneers coaching staff. Like I would get that. Like if Brady, but you can't put Brady on any team. You can't. I don't think you can put Brady on any team. He's just going to go out and be LeBron or be Jordan. I don't think you expect that of him. But you put him on a team with weapons and a good coach. Still, I don't see why Bruce Arians can't do what Bill Belichick did. I don't see why he can't.
Jerm?
So yeah. So I know when we did our division prediction show, I made the point that I don't think you could just stick Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski on the Buccaneers and expect them to be like champions. Vegas doesn't think so. They're giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the 5th best odds to win or go to the win the Super Bowl at 13-1, which I think is ridiculously high. The Patriots are 22-1. So Vegas thinks that it was more Tom Brady than it was Bill Belichick. My thing is, we have evidence that Belichick can win without Brady. We don't have that evidence with Brady winning without Belichick. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I had to make an educated guess, I would think that the Patriots would have that better shot. Now, yes, I don't know how good a coach Bruce Arians really is. You know, he's been bounced out of a couple jobs. He's had really good talent on like those Arizona Cardinals teams. He's one of those guys that he's not awful, so we confuse that as good. And I don't actually know if he's good yet because he hasn't really, like, what has he done? You know what I mean? So I think Tom Brady wants to prove something. I think right now with the way the NFL is shaping up, they have a tough division. So it's like the Patriots have to only go through the Bills at this point, right? It's still comparative to NFC South, the easier division, the easiest path to success. You know, the Panthers could be good. We don't know, right? That's the only unknown, right? But we know the Saints are good, and we know the Falcons have the ability to be good. They're probably going to have a resurgent year. I don't think they're just done. I don't think they just fell off the face of the earth. So I don't know, man. We're going to see. We're going to see the track record of all-time great players who've been with one franchise for a long time, just jumping to a team magically and then having great success, like winning Super Bowls. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure those numbers aren't great.
I just want to throw it out there that Bruce Arians is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. That's when I throw that out there. He's taken multiple teams to Super Bowl. I mean, he took the Cardinals to Super Bowl after they were not very good the year before, and came in for when Pagano got hurt and had cancer, I believe, and Bruce Arians took over for a couple of years, or not for the rest of the year with luck, and made it to the playoffs and did well that season. I've seen Bruce Arians have success in the NFL, obviously not on the level of Belichick, and yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think we're gonna see. We will find out. I definitely don't believe that. I wouldn't bet on the Buccaneers winning this year, but man, we're obviously in the talk. I mean, you're saying, but there's 5. You can name 5 teams over the Buccaneers you would trust to win a Super Bowl this year. You're telling me?
Yeah, sure.
Man.
Ravens, Chiefs, the Saints, the Niners, Seahawks. So I mean, I don't know. It's again, it really just depends on Tom Brady, right? Like it depends on Gronk. It depends on how the team, like, just again, the super team in the NFL doesn't really work out.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this too. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm going to say this. I'm done after this. If you're measuring success by almost winning something and never actually winning something, then good luck to the Buccaneers and Bruce Arians.
Brady has won something, and who has been making the most headlines in the offseason working out, and not headlines like bullshit headlines of like, I am fucking working Name a player in the offseason NFL has done more work and you believe than Tom Brady.
Josh Allen, he flew. He has all his rookies that the NFL offensive rookies. He did this before Tom Brady did, but Josh Allen doesn't care about the cameras and the glory, unlike Tom Brady, who only cares about himself.
How? When
you asked me a question. Hold on. Oh my
no,
bad.
he didn't go to press showing his workouts. There are people in the trees watching this guy. What you talking about?
That's because no one's hiding in trees watching everybody. You know what I mean? He's Tom Brady. People are going to watch him take out their garbage. You know, they're going to just.
He's not publicizing his training.
He was in the middle of a. He was in the middle of a public park. And on top of that, Tom Brady doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. If he sent 2 ball boys onto a mystical island to hide the fact that he was deflating balls, I'm pretty sure he can tell 2 guys to go hide in the bushes and film him and act like he's not really asking for the cameras. Tom Brady doesn't get no benefit of the doubt. Listen, Josh Allen took all of his offensive rookies that the Bills drafted this year, the 2 wide receivers and Zach Moss, the running back, to Southern California, to his second home. They've been working out for weeks. He has Stephon Diggs on a virtual game film watching tour because Stephon Diggs has other obligations. They're all about to meet in South Florida this week with Stephon Diggs and Devin Singletary and Dawson Knox. Basically, all of our skill players are going to meet up with Cole Beasley and them, and they're going to work out.
The Bucs are already met up. They're already throwing balls now. But it's all cool, man. And hopefully you guys can catch up to how much training we've done already.
Gotcha. You can watch us in the Super Bowl. Don't worry about it.
Hey, man, it's all good. So speaking of, let's keep it on the football track. Let's keep on a quarterback track. And, man, this guy, Dak Prescott, oh, my Jesus Lord. So supposedly they're saying that they're offered him, I don't know, 35 plus million, close to 40 million or something. And he is still declining. I don't know the truthiness behind these stories, but supposedly he's been offered a boatload of money and he's saying, no, I want more. And at the same time, you can't help but to notice that the Red Rocket is just sitting in the background. Andy Dalton just like, yeah, here comes a starting quarterback. Here comes a starting Cowboys job falling right into my lap. What say you? Like, should the Cowboys just say, screw you, Dak? Like, we have somebody that's probably not that much worse than you?
Yes. Listen, Dak Prescott wants to get paid, and that is fine. He has the franchise tag. But this whole situation is completely different than any other franchise negotiation. When you're a team and you franchise somebody, you don't bring in a 9-year starter as your backup for in case you can't get your negotiations done. Take the money, Dak. I don't know what you think you are. He turned down, and that's true. The reports of a 5-year deal, $175 million. That wasn't 100% true. It was actually $185 million because that 5th year they wanted to negotiate $45 million instead of $35 million. Okay, Dak wants to be the highest paid quarterback. That's Russell Wilson money. For Dak to think that he should get paid better than Super Bowl champion. Seattle Seahawks quarterback is unreal. You finished the season 8-8, and okay, it wasn't a great year in the record books, but you're not winning games. You threw 30 touchdowns, but what does that mean when you're not winning games? The year before you're 10-6. That's better, but it's still not as good as your rookie year where you went 13-3. You have 1 playoff win and 3 playoff appearances. You're not ready for that kind of contract yet. Just save it.
Yeah. So, a couple things, and it's going to sound like I'm shooting Dak Prescott some bail here, but I'm really not. So, the Cowboys ranked dead last in the league in drop passes by percentage, right? So, I guess his line of thinking would be, if you're going to surround me with garbage, I want to get paid. But here's the problem, Dak. If you're going to absorb the $45 million a year that you're reportedly asking for, which is nuts, you're not going to get the help anyway. And so you're just going to get more of the same. Tom Brady, if you want to be great, you want to be truly great, a lot of these teams like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, up until recently Aaron Rodgers, but most of the time Aaron Rodgers have taken pretty team-friendly deals. Now, in Aaron Rodgers' case, the team has completely betrayed him, and he completely just was like, you know what, now I'm just going to want to get paid. But early on in his career, he wanted good players. Donald Driver, he helped resign Greg Jennings, all these guys, right? Drew Brees renegotiates, and Tom Brady renegotiated his contract almost every damn year, even though he's had a 4 or 5 year contract. So you need to get your priorities straight. If you want to win, you can't absorb 80% of the goddamn salary cap, bro. Like, if that's just the way it is. Like, you know, the window is, there's only two ways to win and have sustained success in the NFL, right? And we've seen it. You have to get a really good rookie on a rookie contract and capture that 4 to 5 years that you have with him, or get a quarterback who's above average, who's willing to work with you on the contract end. So I do understand that you want to get your money because tomorrow's never guaranteed in the NFL, but holding your team hostage, and it seems like the Cowboys just can't get this damn quarterback position right, because I felt like they had this issue with Tony Romo. And all right, well, cool, Dak, then sit your ass home and we'll just get Andy Dalton to hopefully just be average, and we'll build the team out and we'll just do it that way. And then we'll just draft a rookie next year.
Yeah, whenever Dak is and it's tough because I feel you got to look at it from both sides, because I want to say a lot of different things on both sides, because on Dak's side, you know, you want to get paid what you feel like you deserve, and you don't want to take less, but you're not that good, Dak, right? Like, so I guess you should know, like, man, look at the rest of the league and try to figure out, like, where do you fit in there, and humble yourself. But also at the same time, you know, look at the Cowboys. Like, there is something to the Cowboys franchise and the brand, and there's something that we're talking about before about, like, you know, players just leaving the league and doing their own thing. Like, Dak doesn't have that necessarily as a personal brand, but he can have that if he stays on the Cowboys long enough. Like how Aikman and Romo have brands now. Like Aikman and Romo, like those two names mean something because of them being Cowboys quarterbacks for so long. If Dak Prescott holds on to that, even if he's not making a lot of money while he's there, he can make a lot of money off the field. So he should be smart about that and take a little bit less, for one, to build a better team in football reasons, but for two, it's a Cowboys. This is a different organization. Like, you should want to be okay with, like, all right, I'll take a little bit less to be the man here. And because as a starting quarterback for the Cowboys, your brand is next level. So, you know, but you also don't want to devalue yourself. So it's tough. That $35 million though, that contract they offered him is a lot. Is a freaking lot. Like, how dare you try to get more? Like, that's plenty. Like that amount, but also being a quarterback for the Cowboys is like, bro, that's the sky's the limit. Sign the contract and live your life, man. Like, what are you talking about?
And then with endorsements, you're talking about probably, you know, you could probably almost match that, right?
Well, that's why he didn't sign a contract before, I feel like, was because I'm cool right now. Like, I'm cool just being a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, but he knew that at some point there was going to be a big contract. But you're thinking way too big. You had a chance. I think if you'd have took him to the playoffs and did some noise, now he can start talking. But you had your chance and you were mediocre, brother. So you gotta take what you can get. Especially now, like, it's a whole different story now. They have Dalton on the team. He needs to, like, stop fooling around, man, because he's about to be out of a job.
Well, so here that division is open for the taking. You know, it's not a strong division like it has been in the past. So, you know, Dak can perform. Just sign the deal. Stop being greedy.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to the Kirk Cousins playbook here and just doing the year-to-year franchise tag thing. And I guess, I don't know if he's looked at the Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper situation where they kind of forced the organization to give them the contracts they wanted, and maybe he thinks he's going to do the same thing. But guess what, Dak? On that totem pole, you're at the bottom, bro. Like, we can get somebody serviceable to throw the ball. They probably throw it better. And they already did. Andy Dalton, you know what? I'm going to shoot Andy Dalton some bail too. All those years, I can't judge you, Andy Dalton, because you were a Cincinnati Bengal. I think that team was only what they were because you were the quarterback of that team. And we're going to see this year with Joe Burrow, but I'm not going to say, I know a lot of people are writing Andy Dalton off because he's just had a bunch of mediocre years in Cincinnati, but that organization was such a mess for a long time, and a majority of his career was with Marvin Lewis and that current regime, that other regime front office. I'm not gonna judge Andy Dalton for what he does at Dallas. I'm not a big fan of telling, hey, he sucked over here, so he's gonna suck here. Well, no, there's a different coaching staff and there's a different culture and there's different training staff, and it's just different. Everybody wants a fresh start. So yeah, Dak better be careful because Andy Dalton's gonna be coming for his stuff for real soon. And I guarantee you, because Andy Dalton's being quiet, and let's just play it out that Dak misses the first 5 games and the Cowboys go 4-1 or something like that. Guess what, Dak? You're sitting the bench for the rest of the year. And Andy Dalton, there's already a petition for Andy Dalton to start week 1, regardless of what happens, which is crazy. Which actually tells you what the Dallas fans really think of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that feeling in Dallas. Like, I don't think many fans. I think they. It's almost how I felt about Winston. Like, when I was a Bucs fan, it's like he's my quarterback, so I have to support him. But in reality, I really don't care for him that much. Like, I wouldn't mind having somebody
because he's
else.
not that good. That's what I'm saying. Like in the NFL, we for the last probably I want to say decade, we've just been surrounded by like bum trash quarterback play that anybody who's halfway decent we overrate. Dak he's good, but he's not that good. Like, he's replaceable.
Yeah.
He's not like he's even with Carson Wentz, right? Like, you can look at Carson Wentz even with his injuries. But a healthy Carson Wentz is light years ahead of, like, I would take him 10 out of 10 times over Dak. And
Absolutely.
they're compared the most. And it's like, all right, Dak, so what do you do that's, like, amazing, right? Like, nothing really, right? At least Carson can, like, make these magical plays. Like, Dak's special power is that he's big. And
Carson doesn't have Zeke. You got to think you have one of the best running backs in the game. That's your crutch. That's the reason why you've been as good as you've been. Like Ty said, humble yourself. Who do you think you are? You know what I mean? And to kind of not to spend too much time on the topic, but I like Andy Dalton. I never thought he was a bad quarterback. And think about the years he played. He played with a fierce Baltimore team in his division and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he didn't have it easy. Now he has the chance to have it easy.
Word. So football, can't wait for football to be back. Can't wait. We need some more sports, but 2 sports that were not canceled, but paused mid-season: basketball, NBA, and NHL seasons that were just now still kind of up in the air. But now things are kind of coming back together. New formats are even coming into play. Something I saw for the NBA, which is like super exciting, is that they're talking about different kind of ratings in the playoffs, but also NHL is announcing the same thing. So these are 2 leagues that are coming back soon to start playoffs soon, and are going to have different formats. Starting with NHL, Corey, you're the NHL specialist. Tell me about what's happening with how they're coming back with NHL in the playoff situation.
All right. So the organizations and the players agreed to start a 24-team playoff bracket. Now, normally it's 16. Top 16 get in, top 12 get in with 4 wild cards, similar to where the best teams play the wild cards the first round, kind of like NFL standard. This is now 24 teams where they take the top 4 teams from the East and the top 4 teams from the West, and they play in almost like a first round bye, but they play each other to seed 1 through 4. Now the other what did I say, top 4 teams, so we're looking at 24. The other teams not top 4 are going to play each other. The other 8 teams are going to play each other to kind of have like a round robin to figure out who's qualifying to play those top 4 seeded teams. So it's kind of like a seeding bracket plus a round robin tournament. There's, I think, a list of 4 or 5 cities that are going to host all the games for the East and all the games for the West. And then when they eventually have those seeds, that's when they're going to start looking at where they're going to play those games more permanently.
So are they saying that when the season stopped, it wasn't playoffs yet, right? It was still a regular season?
No. Yep, there's still a couple.
Are they saying like they're gonna jump right into this right away, like right into this tournament based off the end of the season?
They're basically basing the record from the end of the season. That's why they're having kind of a round robin play in and bracket seeding because there were a couple of teams that were kind of floating in between different positions. So they're using this as an opportunity. Is it a perfect system? Absolutely not. But the NHL, the owners, the organizations, the players, at least the way they're marketing, which I think is genius, is they came out with a press conference and they said, the fans want us to play. We're listening to you. This is one way we can get it done, and this is one way we can get it done safely. So even though a lot of fans, especially if your team was ranked number 1, number 2, you now have that possibility to get a lower seed, depending on how you play in the seeded playoff. They're saying, hey, you wanted us to play. This is a way we can get hockey back in 2020.
I like that. What's your thoughts on that, Jamal?
I mean, I guess for this situation, like when I heard 24 teams, I was like, "Damn, that's a lot."
That's
man.
all the
Like,
teams.
it's damn near, and it's miraculous that New Jersey somehow doesn't make it. It's still in that 24. I mean, god damn. But so I read a little bit into it. I like it's like a play-in for the bye, which is not really a bye. Then you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know, whatever, you know. For me, it's like, all right, whoever had the best record of those top 4 teams just gets the bye. Like, guess what, man? It's not going to be fair for everybody. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about the NBA too. But as far as NHL, I love the fact that they're going to have host cities and I really wish they would do something where the fans could at least participate in that, because I think, you know, and I honestly would do it in the cities that are affected most by coronavirus, right? Like the ones who economically. So maybe you may not be able to let fans in the stadium, but maybe you do like a like an outside drive-in game watch or something like that. Like, you know, go rent some big ass screens, you know, and I get money's probably tight for some of these leagues right now. And I think, and I know the NBA is going to have an issue with this. I think the problem with having like a couple regular season games to fill in or just to get these players warmed up is it's going to cost the owners money to put on these games. So I don't think they want to waste time, which is why I think the NBA is going to just jump straight into playoff games, because it doesn't, the owners are already losing a shit ton of money, and adding extra I'm going to quote meaningless games for this regular season just to iron out the last couple seeds is not, you know, it's not cost efficient. So with the NHL, I think for the NHL though, because they're not the most popular sport of the major sports, I think adding more teams to showcase them on TV helps them for next year. So hopefully, you know, I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch all, you know, the more games, the better. I'm going to watch the hockey games, because I usually watch the Stanley Cup playoffs and all that stuff anyway, because I don't know anything about hockey. I just know that the best teams are playing, so it should be good games. So
Word. No, I like that. I mean, I feel like hockey does try to do, you know, switch things up, or I'm glad, I like that they're taking initiative.
They have the best All-Star weekend. They have the best All-Star format.
Word.
I'll say that about hockey. I watch.
You know what I love about hockey is the outdoor games, the outdoor matches,
The classic games.
the classic games. Them things are dope.
Well, listen, man. You know, up here in Jersey, there are some high school teams that still do that. They'll play a couple of games outdoors. It's pretty dope.
That's what's up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what's up. So what's that? Oh, so yeah, right into basketball though, Jamal. You're talking about it in terms of basketball has their format, and they were initially talking about some regular season games before to iron out the last couple playoff spots, but also I heard it described as like just like a, you know, exhibition and preseason kind of thing. Like they might need to warm up, they might need to play some games before the playoffs. But what format is the NBA looking at as of now? Like, seems to be the most likely thing at this point?
So before the show, I read probably 3 or 4 different things. The one I see the most, I think the 16 game playoff, where everybody's going to be reseeded regardless of conference, which I think they've always should have done. So it's odd because this year in particular, it actually works out that it's going to be 8 Eastern Conference teams and 8 Western Conference teams. But so this is probably a bad year for that to like show what it could do, but the teams are reseeded. So where the Sixers, for example, because we're Sixers fans, would be the 4th or 5th seed in the East, they actually dropped down to the 12th seed in this reseeded format, and they would be playing the Celtics, who would be the 5th seed overall. So it's interesting. I like that because I do think, as a sports fan, I think it sucks for the Sixers, but they should have been better this year. But as a sports fan, I want to see the best teams compete, and I don't think it's fair that the 10th seed in the West could be the 7th or the 6th seed in the East and miss out on the playoffs. So here's the problem. I don't think the NBA actually knows what they're going to do, because I've heard that they may have to play like the teams 7 through 12 may have to play like 5 or 6 games to figure out who's going to have those last 2 spots. But then the owners don't want that, because the players want it because they get paid per game. The owners don't want it because then they have to pay more money. So they're going to have to figure out if they're just going to be jerks and just say, no, if you were the 8th seed at this date, you're in the playoff, and everybody else screw off. You know, there's no extra games. There's no nothing. I know like teams that are at the bottom of the list, like the Warriors, they already said that they don't want to participate there's no need for them to. Why play the games? They have the third worst record in the league right now as it stands. It benefits them none to play. But the Timberwolves, who have like the second to last worst record, they actually want to play because they want to evaluate young talent. So do you just cater to that? Like, do you just allow, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't think they know what they want to do with that. If it was me running it, I would do a play-in game. I know Mark Cuban suggested a 2 game play-in. So the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th seeds play one game and then decide, who's going to get those last 2 spots. Or the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th team will play to see who gets those last 2 spots and be done with it, right? What do you do, right? Like, just play the games. Because even if this goes off without a hitch, the champion's going to have an asterisk anyway. So just play the damn games and get it over with, and then start fresh October 1st.
I agree. I don't know if you feel the same, Ty, but let the contenders play and call it. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. Ty, you're muted, Ty.
Shoot. No, I definitely like the fact that the NBA is looking at the format of, taking away the conferences and the divisions. Let's just make straight 1 through 16. And it was bad for us Sixers fans, I think, looking at it. But it is what it is. You got to play within the system. In reality, the system sounds better, just 1 through 16. So I like how things are changing in terms of formats because of the pandemic. And hopefully these changes end up being like a permanent thing, and like playoffs can be, a little bit different going forward. I'm not mad at that at all.
But before we move on, I just thought of something quick. Like, they're already doing away with the East versus West, really, of the All-Star game. And now they're getting rid of, for this, and this is probably the best time because I know Adam Silver has wanted to switch to reseeding the playoffs since he's got in there. Are we seeing the beginning of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference just disappearing? Like, if they make this a permanent change, what would be the point of having 2 separate conferences? They should just redo the divisions and just mix up the schedule and just let everybody play everybody, because if the best teams are going to end up making the playoffs anyway, then there's no need to have 2 separate conferences. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're a long way away from getting rid of divisions. And I think even if it comes down to the stupidest reason of it's fun for fans to have division rivals. It's fun for those games. And from a business perspective, you market those games. In any sport, it's more expensive in football when you're a Giants fan when the Eagles come to town. In hockey, if the Rangers are playing the Devils or Rangers are playing Philly, those tickets are more expensive. So in basketball, the same thing. I just think getting rid of divisions might be a long ways away, but as far as scheduling, I don't think there has to be any sort of rhyme or reason on scheduling within divisions and so on and so forth.
I think because of travel reasons and because of travel, most likely to be limited, at least for near future, I like how MLB is looking at like redoing their division so that it's just more local. And I'm cool with that in terms of the regular season. I agree in terms of the playoffs. I would, I love it in the playoffs. I don't think I would want it getting rid of during the regular season. I think it still helps, during the regular season, you're playing your own division more than the other division. And I think that's cool because they're closer. So it's like, all right, I can play these guys, bang out a bunch of games. I go over there on a road trip, bang out some games. But in reality, you're still playing your own division more. I'm cool with that. And I'm cool if you get familiar with them. Now you have in-division rivalries. That's a regular season. That makes a regular season exciting. And then the playoffs, though, when it gets down to who's the best, I'm going to see. In reality, I would love to see, NCAA single elimination bracket. In reality, just everybody just throwing in there and just run the gauntlet. But, I love the divisionless stuff in the playoffs. I'm cool with it in the regular season because I think it helps with playing the games throughout the season, the rivalries, like Corey said. I don't mind having the divisions in the regular season.
All right, then I'm wrong.
No, you're not. As opinion, we have different opinions, brother. But you're not wrong because you came up with the best idea, in my opinion, ever, and that's our closing segment. Are we closing? First of all, are we closing? Yes. Or is there anything else?
I don't have anything else. I think I'm good.
Yeah, my list is done.
Word.
Yeah, So
Go ahead.
At the end of all of the great games, harken back to your youth and childhood, a game ball was given out to the person most deserving who won the game. So we are going to extend that to the entire sports world, and it doesn't have to be a player. As long as in the world of sports, who deserves a little bit of extra love? In this segment, we like to call the game ball. And for my game ball, I'm actually going to give some love to Corey's team, the Miami Dolphins. I don't know if you guys saw this. Miami Dolphins are opening up their stadium, and they're going to turn it into a drive-in movie theater where cars can go in and park on the field and watch whatever movie they happen to be showing on their big Jumbotron. You can order food, and actually, they get the stadium workers to come back to work, and they'll bring your food out to your car. That's awesome. I think that is probably the best idea that stadium ownership group has come up with in the midst of this coronavirus to help the people not playing on the field. It's a fantastic idea. So my game ball goes to Corey's Miami Dolphins.
That's a good game ball right there. Jeff Ross is a smart man, even if his old senile ass thinks that we're going to open up with fans in the NFL. But I love him. Love the guy. I have a game ball, and this is because I'm hating on Dak, and Dak wants Russell Wilson money. Well, if you ever get Russell Wilson money, Dak, listen and model after Russell Wilson. Watching the match, I don't know if you guys saw, or Ty, you said you're going to rewatch. Germ, I don't know if you saw the part, but Russell Wilson was live and basically live betting on the whole, I think it was a par 3, about donations. Russell Wilson said, all right, for everybody that gets within 20 feet of the pin, I'll donate, I think it was 100,000 meals for COVID. So basically food insecurity for COVID. And with that easy of a hole, I think 3 out of the 4 got it within 20 of the pin. So on a dime, Russell Wilson said, all right, here's 300,000 meals. Russell Wilson, you get the game ball just for being Russell Wilson. That's what you do with that money. That's the role model you're supposed to be.
Man, sure. I love me some Russell Wilson. If I were a woman, I'd tell you. But I try to, honestly, I was trying to think of somebody to get the game ball to. First of all, I got to shout out, is it not Jim Ross? That's freaking, that's WWF, Jeff Ross. I went to my first drive-in movie a couple days ago, and it was freaking awesome. I saw Sonic. It was nice. It was lit. I've never been to a drive-in movie, so I'm hyped about that. I would love to see drive-in events in big stadiums. My game ball has to go to Tom Brady. And I was trying my best to rack my brain. I just tried my best, guys. And honestly, this might be a bad subject, a bad format, and or a bad segment like game ball, because that might be the game ball for me every week. But I tried not to do it, and that is the match happened.
Why?
Great. Why? Oh, because of the training. Because of the training. Because I'm seeing my man outside of One Buck Place across the street in the parking lot, throwing balls to Buccaneers players, because he's walking in. I guess it's not too recent, but because he's walking in to strangers' houses to throw balls with Brian Leftwich. Just his offseason work ethic, from what I've seen, I got to give the game ball to Brady. He's going out playing charity golf. You're talking about donations. The reason why these donations are happening is because Brady and is the 4 people that played. This is their idea to I don't know who initial idea it was, but I'm sure it's one of these 4 that wanted to do this stuff for charity. So, when my man split his pants open, you see, bent over for the ball and split his pants open, Brady.
Oh yeah. Oh, the entire America, gushed.
People hate him. I know, but people hate. But I mean, it's kind of an embarrassing moment, and people were clowning him and stuff, and people try to, people hate on Brady all the time, right? But I got to get the game ball to him because he's human. He's playing, he's trying, and doing donations and giveaways and all these different things. My man, Tom Brady, he gets my game ball for every week for the rest of my life.
There we go. That's 2 game balls from me and Germ, and that's 1 deflated game ball from Ty.
Exactly.
And, I want to give one more honorary show game ball to the family and the of George Floyd, the man who was killed by Minneapolis police. Shout out to the family for being strong. Our prayers and our thoughts and our well wishes and all that good stuff are with you. Just hold it down. So game ball for y'all for having to absorb all this stuff.
Definitely.
Absolutely, man. I love you all. Stuff About Sports podcast. We're signing off. Check us out on all the platforms, the podcast networks. And that's all. We're out.
See you Friday.
Come drink with us.
Yeah, Friday, 5 p.m. Come get a shot with us.
Push
Happy hour
the
on
agenda. Sports.